All right, let's go. Let's crush. Let's crush.
Let's crush.
Are we already in it? Can we just go?
Yeah.
Welcome to For the Dads. This is a show by a dad, by a soon-to-be
Future dad.
Yeah, future dad. For the dads. I guess we should start by introducing ourselves. Before we do, as you guys are watching this, listening to this, consuming this, I know at some point we will have a separate channel, whether that be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your podcasts. Be on the lookout for that. I know you guys are listening to this on Bussin With The Boys right now, but if you're showing up to tune in for some good dad talk, make sure you subscribe. That helps support the boys. It's easy for you to do, and we also leave comments because we will absolutely love hearing your guys' feedback as we go through this first episode. My name is Will Compton. I played guaranteed 9 years in the league, debatably 10. I am the co-creator of Bussin With The Boys. I am a full-time dad. I am a husband. And my wife, Charo Compton. Sorry, your boy is super nervous for this. This is a project that is very near and dear to both mine and Sherm's heart. It's something that I know we are super excited about, but at the same time, with this being our first episode, we're kind of in a different studio. Lights are off. This being our first one, it's very nerve-wracking. But my wife and I, we have two beautiful daughters, Cerulean Bell and Scotty Jolie. And with me, who is the producer of the show, he will also be very pivotal for the show, is Sherman Young. Sherman, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Sherman, producer here at Bussin With The Boys. I'll be producing on the show, talking a little bit with Will. I help produce on the bus as well, do some edits in the back of the bus with the boys, and it's been like almost 2 years now that I've been with Bussin With The Boys.
You brought you and Jilly Bean. Shout out Jilly Bean.
Shout out, oh yeah, a little bit about me. Played 1 year of high school football, arguably 2. Married for a year and some change to my wife, Jilly Bean, or Jill Young. And future dad, have a baby on the way. And I have some news on that. So I don't want to spoil it, but I got some
You got some updates?
I got some breaking updates.
But you guys came up from Texas.
Came up from Texas, from Fort Worth, Aledo to be more specific, if you're from the DFW area. And yeah, just kind of was sending memes and stuff on Twitter to Will and Taylor, and barraging. We have Garrett here too that's helping us with the cameras. Was in Garrett's DMs, everybody's DMs, just Bussin, please hire me. I've been in film production for quite a while, and then commercial production as well. Did some directing and producing, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, but you have a badass creative mind, and you crush it with Bussin With The Boys. You're gonna crush it on For The Dads. I feel like your positive energy that I feel like people have gotten glimpses of. I'm very excited for you to kind of co-host this show with me.
I'm excited too. Just to talk nerves as well. Logan,
both nerves. Both guys nervous.
Both nervous. Logan, who's a third-party guy that helps a ton with Bussin With The Boys. He kept on popping his head in before we hit the record button. Was like, "Hey, last bit of just some advice before y'all start rolling." And he asked you if you were more nervous, first time with Bussin With The Boys or first time with this, and you said you were more nervous for Bussin With The Boys.
Yeah, I feel like before the show, I was more nervous for Bussin With The Boys because it was a very brand new project. It was the first thing I've ever stepped out and done anything else other than football. But now that I'm sitting here talking on this show for the first time, I'm thinking the nerves might be a little bit higher for the dads.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just because, again, bro, we're very excited about standing up the show, talking dad life, and we will get into that. I know we're kind of rambling along right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sick. It's cool that we have, we started with a vision. We've had a shit ton of help. Shout out the boy Garrett, shout out Logan, shout out the whole team behind the scenes, standing this brand up. We have merchandise. It's really cool. And I feel like there's a space for more dad conversations. I always enjoy, listening to dad podcasts. I enjoy consuming content, and we can get into why does this podcast exist? And essentially for me, it's, spoiler alert, I'm really into fatherhood. I love it. I hate it at times. I think there's a lot of suck that goes into it because there's a lot of intention you have to put into it. And that is difficult to do when you are trying to balance, running the business of Bussin With The Boys, work-life balance. thinking about your marriage, not losing yourself so much in your marriage because you're so focused on the kids, also trying to focus on communicating with the kids. Like I grew up in a household where it was 3 boys. And my mom was very, strong-willed and tough. And I grew up around a lot of boy energy. Football kid growing up, all the sports, all the things. And when you have your wife, who is a former cheerleader, she now operates the Bar 3. She owns the Bar 3 studios here in Nashville.
Shout out.
My dog, my beautiful dog, Waffle, our English bulldog, female. 2 little girls. Rue, she is absolutely obsessed with princesses right now. And you also thinking about outside of the work-life balance, communicating and being involved, being intentional with your marriage. You're also thinking about how you communicate with 2 little girls where you have like no experience to do. So I find myself gravitating a lot towards, I've always been a podcast guy, but listening to podcast conversations, diving into books, whether it's for sleep training, whether it's the Daily Dad. I find myself just gravitating towards a lot of dad content. And I feel like when I hear dads or people speak on parenthood, whether it's moms, dads, anybody, I find myself, able to kind of grab a lot of perspective for my own situations, to where you're sitting in the truck and you're like, yes, you go through that shit too. And you go home and you kind of tell your wife, hey, buddy over here, he was doing this, or hey, this couple did this, or here's a little wrinkle that we could be dealing with. Rue, my whole Instagram algorithm, I feel like is all parenthood. And I've always been, being in the content, being in the media space, it's you want to create things that you're a consumer of. And I'm a massive consumer of parenthood. I'm a massive consumer of fatherhood. And I feel like that's why I had a big itch and I felt a big pull to stand up a show like this.
To echo going off what you're saying, with my tweet that I put out when we did launch the trailer, I typed that tweet out 500 times because I was trying to evoke how passionate you are about this subject. And every single time I wrote it down, I was like, God, I can't put it into words. But when I first started at Bussin and you would ask me to connect and go to coffee with you, initially it was about Bussin and how's moving, across the nation, blah, blah, blah. But our conversation would always land on, hey, are you and Jill thinking about kids? And we would just
because you'd be like, hey, you're really, when you're posting these photos of Rue, you're really getting Jilly Bean in the fever right now. I'm gonna have to get you to slow down,
bro. Rue is way too cute, and Jill is truly was struck with baby fever from Rue, and that was a massive problem that I was facing, and in myself being I feel like I'm inadequate. I don't feel like I'm there financially. I don't feel like I'm there maybe maturity wise. Am I ready to be a dad? I'm going to have to be, my life is over. And now it's all about this other thing.
Yeah.
This other human. But seeing the way that you and Taylor balance work and family, I was like, I can have a career. I can have friends. I can be passionate about my career, but also be a great dad. And that's what made me really want to pick your brain in those coffees of hey, how is it, blah, blah, blah. But the way that you lock in when you talk about being a dad, it's like you're breaking down being in the A gap. You really do. You break it down like it's film. When you come back from a great conversation with Charo or some life lesson that you learn with Rue, hearing you talk about it with just people in the office, that's what made me believe in the show. I was like, dude, he does this every day already.
Because you realize too, it's we're all going to fuck it up often. Oh, easy with the coaster. We're all going to fuck it up often. And nobody has it figured out. And there's no perfect formula. And there's times where you're in the whole parenthood conversations and you feel like there's a perfect way you have to come off, you're doing it right. Or maybe, I know people deal with how much screen time should they have? When are you getting your kids down to sleep? You might feel like your child is sleeping well, and you might know a friend that has a child the same exact age and they're not getting a lot of sleep at night. And you feel like whether it's guilt or shame, there's so many emotions and you just realize we're all trying to figure it out. I feel like that's what the show is. Sharing experience together, fucking it up together, figuring it out together, and just showing up the next day, because that is parenthood in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Because there's just going to be all that chaos. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of chaos. So I can get into our whole entire Rosemary trip last week, because it was, you got a 3-year-old now, you have a 6-month-old, you're packing the car, you're doing all this stuff. You have an 8-hour drive. it is chaos at times, bro.
Yeah.
For just little moments of when you're sitting on the beach and you're just like, and you finally have a calm moment and you're like, this is why you do it. And then you just, that night when you're trying to put him to bed, you're trying to do bedtime, you're trying to feed him, you're trying to do all the things. Can I watch Little Bear? Can I do this? Hey, we got to go to bed. And then it's chaos again until the next day, until you get to that next moment to where you're like, oh, this is it right here. This is the life.
Oh, yeah. And we could segue into actually, so how the show will operate is we'll have an intro like this.
Yes.
And then we have like 4 to 5 segments that will kind of cycle through each week.
Yep.
It'll never be permanent of like which ones. But we wanted to give y'all like a little taste, a little flavor of some of our segments. And to start out, great segue, Motherfucked. First segment.
Yes, motherfucker. And just to, again, what's the caption thing at the bottom, the warning sign at the bottom? It's like, this is in no way, shape, or form a podcast for expert advice on parenting.
Yeah,
like you're an expecting father. You're about to be in it. Is the camera good?
Yeah. I was putting a banner.
You're about to be in it. But at the end of the day, it's like, I have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. Like, I don't know what it's like to have a 4-year-old. I don't know what it's like to have a teenager. I don't know what it's like to have an adult child. There's a lot that we still have to learn and figure out, but that's what the show is here is for, is to kind of deliver our own experiences in a very unpolished way. And also give a voice for the dads who carry their own mental load.
We need it. And
in
the comments, that was some of my favorite comments with the launch trailer, was like, boys, we need this.
Yeah.
The third party, boys, we've needed this. The dads need it. I'm like,
yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
The dad lives matter too. The dad lives matter too.
Come on.
But yeah, we're going to share stories, maybe build around a topic of the week, build a community around call-ins, stories via email, engaging on social medias, talk about our dad, wins and losses, balancing life, vulnerable shit. We'll be laughing a lot.
Yep.
Things that we can crack a cold Bud Light to, and just having a good time. And at the end of every episode, we will close out with a quote, a mantra, or a lesson that we feel like we've enjoyed recently. And every now and then, this isn't going to be a show to where it's interview based and we're going to bring on dads every week, similar to what you guys recognize with Bussin With The Boys. That'll happen at times when the time is right. Maybe it's bonus content.
Come on.
But we really want this to kind of build community with the dads out there, share our stories, and engage with everybody online.
Are you going to kick off Motherfucked?
Dude, Motherfucked. So Motherfucked is a segment where it's essentially your dad losses, whether it's your wife giving you a stern talking to about something you might have done wrong or something you fell short for, or whether it's those moments to where the words that come out of her mouth is, you always do X. And I just think in my mind, I don't always do that. I just fell short this one time, but look at the growth I've had. You know, I'll pull back years. Remember when we had the townhouse? I wasn't doing nothing. I was terrible.
Yeah.
You get the report card out. You get the scoreboard. When you get in the scoreboard, that's when it more so goes downhill. You realize like marriage and parenthood's all about communication.
Yes.
But getting in our Motherfuck segment, if I explain my first real dad loss, I'm sure there were others, but one that stands out is Rue was around, I'd say 8 to 10 months old. She was crawling, and we were upstairs for our little morning routine. We got the little birds playing on the sound machine. We're getting her ready for the day, and she's crawling around, and it's one of those things where I'm like giving her the faces and I'm crawling after her like I'm chasing her, and she's starting to get it a little bit, but she starts crawling for the door. And I'm thinking she's going to go to the door, turn around and come back like she always does.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of waiting on the carpet because it's hardwood floor. Like I'm on my hands and knees. You know, the knees they got a little bit of damage from the old playing days. So I'm remaining on the carpet.
10 years.
She starts to leave the doorway crawling. And so I'm like, oh, you know, you think they're a lot smarter than they are at that age. But I'm like, oh, she's hiding from dada. And so I start crawling like, I'm going to get you. And I go outside of her door, and her room is on the second floor. Right outside, sits right at the top of a flight of stairs.
Big flight of stairs. Is it the house that you're currently in?
Yes.
Big flight of stairs.
Yeah, you guys were there shooting that trailer. Big flight of stairs. So she goes around this doorway, and I'm like, oh, Daddy's going to get you. And I go around like, okay, I need to pick it up because I need to get my eyes on her. And I get around, and I'm still on my hands and knees. And she's about to step off. She's about to crawl off the top flight of stairs. And in my head, I'm like, surely she sees that this is not good. And so I started standing up.
How old?
She's like 8 to 10 months old, bro.
Oh no.
She wasn't walking yet. She was crawling. So probably around that 10-month mark.
Yeah.
And I see her start to go, and so I stand up, and bro, she just starts down the stairs. I'm like chasing her down the stairs, like looking down, like I'm in a war movie, running side next to her, trying to get to where I feel comfortable enough, reaching down to get her up. By the time I grab her, she's 3/4 of the way down that flight of stairs to where she had some thuds, like red mark. She's crying. My wife was in the room with us, and we're standing down there, and I'm just rocking. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought I killed her, and I'm just thinking in my head like, surely millions of babies fall all the time. Like we always talk about, joke with your boys. Oh, you must have got dropped on your head when you were younger. This is just one of those moments.
What was the initial, like, as soon as you pick her up, like, what was the very first thing you checked or very first thing you said?
Nothing. I'm hugging her. Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Dad is so sorry. I'm right here. She's crying. Like it's, not a tantrum, but she's like screaming, crying because she's clearly hurt. But she had like lumps that was like raising from her head and like 3 different spots on her head. But that was probably my first big dad loss. And, I didn't get cursed out, but it's one of those where you're standing around mom, like this was on your watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when I felt really low as like, damn, this was all my fault.
Is Charo the kind of energy where when she's quiet, it's even worse? Like if you don't get that tongue lashing, it's almost like the feeling of remorse of like, or of
no, because she'll let me know. With Charo, what we'll talk about in our couples therapy is more of I can't take it when it gets to the moment that she is overwhelmed and annoyed by something that either I had done or something that's going on, to where she just starts like picking up the house. Hey, what do you want to do with this? And it's Sunday night, and I'm just thinking, do we got to do this shit right now? We just got the kids down. Like, can't we just sit down and relax?
That's me.
Oh, you haven't. I've told you about these boxes for months. I'm just thinking about, don't mention the damn boxes right now. I just want to watch a TV show, because where you're like taking a load off. But it's more of like those moments is where she's kind of like letting me know.
Yeah.
But in that moment, it's like we both know what happened.
Yes.
I obviously feel terrible. So I wasn't like cursed. It wasn't anything like that. You just feel like that was my first big dad loss of fatherhood.
Well, and she probably didn't want to like put all the blame on you in the moment, because then that's something that's like going to live with you for, however long. Just like, it sounded like she handled it really nice.
Yeah. It's like if, I can't think of an example where she's like messed up, or if I hear her yell, like when it gets to a point to where you're trying to communicate. I mean, these are little terrorists you're trying to communicate with. Very irrational. They're trying to handle their big emotions. Rue is very determined and independent. So she has like that. She knows what she wants. And if she can't do it on her own, she gets extremely upset with herself, or just extremely upset about it can't get figured out. And, you get those moments where you lose yourself and you just yell back, because you're just on a breaking point. You're trying to be as patient as possible, and you're just on a breaking point to where you're just like, I don't know what you want. And when I hear her yell, I'm like, all right, Dad, I need to go upstairs. I need to try to get the situation calmed down. And you're not trying to load on the fact, hey, you shouldn't be yelling at her, because it's like, we already know what's happening. Yeah, you're not trying to cause more pain and blame somebody, but it's more like that's kind of how our conversations will go. Like if we have a low moment, and it's like, hey, you forgot this. I literally told you so many times, like you forgot this, and here's why. And it's probably because you were on your phone.
Quick thing that you just remind me of during that story of like the patience that you've built up. One thing I've noticed about myself of like a soon to be dad is whenever I'm around dads and their kids are there too, I just kind of pick up on things. Like I'm looking for things like little learns and tidbits, whatever. Jeremy, that's here in our office, has 2 boys here and an older daughter. But his 2 boys are in the office all the time. And whenever he's talking to me, JJ will be in the distance, like, Dad, Sherman, Dad, Sherman. And Jeremy's just locked in, talking like this. Nothing's going on. If I then like answer back to him and JJ's Sherman, I have to go, yeah, what's up, buddy? When we were at breakfast the other morning and Rue was doing the same thing to you, and we were like having a serious conversation about this podcast, you're just locked in and you're looking at me and you're talking to me, and Rue's like, I don't want syrup on my French toast. And you're like, okay, honey. And you're still like eye contact.
Yeah.
Dude, I looked away a million times. I could tell that even you were like, Man, Sherman kind of folds the roo pretty quick. Like,
dude, it's so funny that you bring that up because I'm sitting there in my mind like, Sherman, stop talking to her. Stop engaging with her.
I could tell that you were
because whenever we get to a break, whenever we get to a moment of a break, it's gonna be, hey, sweetheart, Dada's talking. Like, let's exercise a little bit of patience. But I'm thinking, Sherman, stop looking over and engaging with her and putting her stickers on the little sticker book.
Sherman, where's the elephant go? And I'm like, oh, right here would be great. And you wouldn't move. You would just stay locked in. Like, once you're done with that sticker, come back. Let's talk.
Do you, obviously you don't have one yet, but with Jill, when are you guys expecting?
Okay, well.
Can we dive in?
We can dive in, but I was going to save it for the what are the odds.
Okay. All right, we can save it.
Okay.
But I was going to say, my question was going to be, like you and your journey of pregnancy right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, hormones are flowing. Your wife works. She works a lot. She's in what does your wife do?
She's an RN, so she's a registered nurse.
Yes.
Works here in Nashville.
She's a grinder.
Pediatric nursing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's a grinder, deals with a lot of her own stuff at work.
She does.
Having to juggle those hormones. You're a spark plug. You're a ball of life. You're great energy.
Yeah.
How's it been for you in the pregnancy journey?
So I hear it all the time from Jill that I get it really easy. She's like, I give you so much slack. I'm a pretty easy wife. Like, I'm a pretty easy pregnant wife. I promise you. Like, when I'm talking to my girls and I'm hearing stories, like, Sherman, you could have it way worse. And it's not like I'm running around the house going like, why are you fucking blowing up on me all the time? Because she isn't. But it just happened to be the weekend before we record this.
Do you hit her with, I think you got it pretty easy too. Like, I'm pretty easy going.
I am pretty easy. I'm messy as fuck. But like, as far as like a sunshiny disposition of life, like, I feel like she's got it pretty good too. But I'm definitely the lucky one in the relationship. Don't get that wrong.
Hey, no matter what, this podcast, we're going to vent. We're going to bitch. Yeah. But no matter what, we have to, you got to get that coaster.
First episode.
But we're always going to follow it up with, hey, sweetheart, hey, baby, if you're listening right now, I love you. I'm the lucky one. But this is also, I want you to know, this is a safe space for dads.
This is a safe space.
We're going to pretend that our wives aren't watching this.
Okay.
We're going to do our best.
Okay.
Because it is scary to think we could be in hot water every week.
Oh, yeah. And I had to have a talk with her the other night, like before we were recording this. And I was like, I have a really good motherfucked story. She's like, oh, okay. Are you going to talk?
You're like, do you care if I share? Sweetheart, I'm going to let you know, because you're always kind of having the same talk. I'm like, I'm going to exaggerate some stories a little bit, but just know I'm always going to find my way back to you, sweetheart.
We're going to find our way back. And she knew exactly what I was talking about too. She was like, you're going to talk about daycare shopping? I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, you can tell that story. That's okay.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so we're shopping for daycares. Jill's 32 weeks, I believe, or like 31 going into 32 weeks pregnant. And we're looking at daycares. We're kind of new to the scene. I've been texting you a little bit about it. But Tough world, dude.
Gotta plan ahead of time.
Expensive as fuck, dude.
Yes.
The best deal that we have now, like the one that we decided on, it's twice a week and it's $800 a month. It's crazy. But you go in, dude, these daycares, when you walk into them, it's like a cute zoo. It's like a zoo, but of just cuteness, dude. And they have them like, it's almost like they have them fully trained when you walk in to like look out the classroom window and be like, and wave. So you're waving at all these like little 2-something, 3-something year olds. And you're like, oh my God, they're so cute. Like, that's what mine's going to be like. It's going to have good table manners and yada, yada. That whole experience was phenomenal. I love daycare shopping. And I selfishly am not going to shout out the daycare that we chose because I'm on a wait list and I'm trying to get in that mug. So
yeah.
I'm not
wait list, yes.
Yeah. So I'm not going to name it specifically, but once we're in there, I will gladly shout them out. But yeah, the motherfuck situation was essentially I should have woken up at 6:30 and started getting breakfast going because my girl is wanting to look pretty. She's wanting to take her time in the shower. She wants to pick out her outfit. She wants to have her makeup all done so she looks like a really good future mommy, and she wants her husband to do the same. So it's like, we are normal humans. You should totally let us have our kid be in your daycare, because we were going to multiple daycares that day. Slept in. like till the last second.
That's Sherm's Achilles heel right there. That alarm clock. Heel. This dude could have a tornado siren going off in his room and he won't wake up.
Jill is literally going like this right now. She's listening. She's like, thank you, Will. She allegedly shook me like she's trying to get me up, but I gave her the, once I was awake, I was looking at my phone and I gave her the, honey, hey, just 1 second. I'm watching this last thing and I promise you, I have my outfit picked out. We're all good. We weren't all good. We were late, headed out of the house. And for any guy out there that has kids, any dads right now, or future dads with a pregnant wife, you cannot miss breakfast because that stomach starts hurting. And she just turned into the angriest mama bear she has ever been. And I got a tongue lashing on the way to the daycares about I'm not responsible. And just like you always do this, hers is you never do that. So she was saying,
it's always the permanent words. Always, never.
Never. She said, you have done nothing in the preparation of our daughter on on the way to the daycare, which in my head, that is not true. Did it sting? Yeah, it stung, but I swallowed it. Because I've learned, like,
listen, this is your mental load. It's starting to stack up.
You got to take the hits.
You got to take the hits.
And I'm taking the hits.
You're in the A gap right now.
Oh, yeah, dude. And I'm like death gripping the wheel and I'm driving down, was it 440 G that heads west? I'm heading down 440 west and I'm just locked in, dude. And I'm getting it so bad. And I'm like, I got to let her have her moment and get this out. But I did make the mistake of, I said, hey, honey. And she stopped and I go, I want you to know I'm listening to you right now. And I think about 85% of what you're saying are really good points. But you don't have to yell at me right now. We can just talk. And that sparked it a bit more, which
Which is hilarious. I'm thinking, hey, that's a nice little.
Yes.
It's a nice little point to add
of trying to defuse it. Yeah. But we get to the parking lot.
Men trying to figure out. Like, oh shit, I thought that was pretty good.
Did I put you on game?
I thought, I was like, oh shit, he kind of put me on some game there.
You put me on game, so I'll take that. That's a compliment. But we get to the parking lot, and long story short, she's wiping her makeup, cleans her makeup off, and we did a really good job of acting like we have never fought a day in our lives, and we're the happiest couple ever. Yeah. And look at our little bundle of joy that's coming. And I had a great line. She loves scary movies. She loves the movie theater. So we had talked, obviously, after the daycare. We worked things out. And she apologized. But at the movies, when she was all happy with her popcorn, I said, hey, I do just want to apologize. I am a really bad husband. I don't think I've done anything to prepare for Scarlett. And she picked up some popcorn and tossed it at me. And she was like, if that's my only blow up on you as a pregnant woman, like, consider yourself lucky. And I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So we're all good.
You got out of the fire.
We're out of the fire.
You got out of the fire.
Yeah. we can segue to crack a cold one.
Yeah, let's talk about a positive. Let's talk about something that we would crack a cold one to. Mine is going to be Pizza Friday. I think having a weekly ritual with the fam is important. It's something that we started early because in the world moves fast, man. You talk to any dad, you talk to anybody, the generation before you, the consensus is always the phrase, it goes by fast, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, in a world where everything moves fast with appointments, work, meetings, phone calls, again, marriage, you're trying to juggle a lot of the chaos going on. Pizza Friday is something that we've leaned on to where, hey, this is where we kind of show up as a family. You know, I know like dads in our minds at times, we think we have to show up for something big to matter, whether we're fixing something, whether we're providing, whether we're saving the day. And you begin to realize that parenthood and being intentional is about like showing up in those small consistencies.
Yeah.
And Pizza Friday is one of those for us because I know growing up for me, a lot of my fondest memories are being in the backyard for barbecues. My dad loved throwing meat on the grill. My mom loved making sides. We loved having friends over. And I just vividly have Those are some of my best memories. And it's something that I remember anytime that I'm grilling or at a grill out or a cookout, whatever the case is. It's like subconsciously in my mind, I'm always thinking back to when we had these family barbecues, because we would have them often, at least like, when it's summertime, you're having them a couple times a month. And
all the brothers are out there, right?
Yeah. And so for us, like for Pizza Fridays, I always take Rue. She gets in the car with Dad. We order from our favorite spot, and I will shout out the local spot, Home Team Pizza. We put in an order for Home Team Pizza. I take Rue. It's kind of our time to spend together, to where we go inside. She talks to everybody. We get the pizza. We bring it home. I let Rue carry the little, whether it's a little bag of Buckeyes. Shout out, hey Home Team, you guys got some fire Buckeyes. Shout out the Buckeyes. Whether it's the little bag of Buckeyes or the small box of like their little breadstick bites. Ooh. Rue will carry the small one in. And every time she walks in the door, Mama, we're home. It's Pizza Friday. And we enjoy whatever the movie it is. So it's like when my kids get older, they won't always remember the toys or the lectures that their old man gave them, because I'll probably be giving a lot of lectures. But I want them to remember the times that they spent together as a family, to where my daughters got in the car with Dad. They drove to go pick up pizza, and we brought home the smell of pizza, and we shared laughs, whether it's tears, whatever it was. We enjoyed a movie together as a family, and that's how we show up each week as a family. We're not always consistent to where we hit it every Friday, but every Friday that we're home, any Friday that we might be on the road together, at a vacation together, Pizza Fridays is a staple for like a weekly ritual for the family. So that's kind of my crack a cold one too. That's kind of like my one of the staples in our family.
It feels consistent as hell, like seeing it on social media, just as a like third party outside of it. It seems like y'all are doing it every Friday, and I love the idea of like traditions too, of y'all kind of creating traditions.
And you'll know too, it's like consistency and routine is big for kids, knowing like, hey, guess what today is? And it might be Monday and it's gymnastics day, or Wednesday and it's swim day for Rue. But anytime you're just like, hey, guess what day it is? She's just always like Pizza Friday. It's like, okay, no, that's after 2 more sleeps. But they know when it's Friday, it is Pizza Friday.
Yeah.
So that's my
crack a cold one.
That's my crack a cold one.
I wasn't going to do a crack a cold one, but I do have a crack a cold one for you.
I'll go ahead and give them a nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you don't have one. You don't have one. First episode, you don't have one this week.
I didn't. Well, I like had one that I was going to finagle.
Yeah.
But to go off of, I'll crack a cold one to you, because you did an incredible job, you or Charo, with Rue when we were over to film that trailer of when Rue wanted to teach me how she tells the world good morning. And that might have been a top 5 cutest thing I've ever seen in my life, of her picking up a footstool, moving it to the window, throwing open the curtains like a Disney character. And she just went, good morning, world. So loud and so confident. And I love that Chara was like, we haven't done that in a minute with Rue. Or maybe you said that. I can't remember, but you did it enough to where it's in there. Like,
it's like when they're little and they're starting to figure things out, and you're trying to like keep them in a routine of how morning works. Like we'll have the sound machine, and when she wakes up, we'll turn it to the birds chirping, just to like get her psyche in the mindset of like, hey, we're doing the morning routine. So you pick her up out of the crib when she couldn't walk, and you just be like, hi world, and do all these things. So that way they know that you're starting to like manufacture this hardwiring of how each day works. But yeah, it had been a minute since I'd seen her do the whole good morning world, but I knew she wanted to show you her room.
Dude, that was unreal.
She's wanting to give you an entire tour of the house and say, hey, sweetheart, we got to film. We gotta film a trailer. If you're going to be a part of this, we'll give you a role.
Yeah, we gave her the director role.
Yeah.
Oh,
say action, and you got to stay quiet. Because she's wanting to play the whole time. She want to play hide and seek. You guys are there. She thinks everybody's there for her.
She loved, shout out Uncle Brad, by the way. Apologies we didn't shout you out before. That was the dad in the launch trailer, one of Will's good friends. But shout out Uncle Brad. Do you want to let him know what Crack a Cold One is brought to us by?
Yes. Oh, I would love to. Great segue. We do have some sponsors on the show already. This episode is brought to us by Bud Light. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL Draft, tied in you, and Bud Light partner George Kittle, the UFC, and Shane Gillis' tour in 2025. The Bud Light partners include Peyton Manning, George Kittle, Baker Mayfield, Emmitt Smith, Shane Gillis, Post Malone, and Dustin Poirier. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, and Bud Light is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. Stock up now on Bud Light and head to budlight.com/locator to find a store near you. Question for you, and also question for the audience. Should I hit both of these ad reads as like a middle of the break show?
You know, I like that idea, especially if our sponsors aren't attached to the segments just yet, that we go ahead and knock out the next sponsor. But you had a good idea of kicking it to the audience in the comments for them to let us know. Yeah,
whether you'd like it earlier in the show, middle of the show, kind of broken up the way we do Bussin' With The Boys. But our second one, it's a horny one. It is Roe. For the Dads is sponsored by Roe. You might be thinking to yourself, hey, it was a long night putting the kids down. You got to get up early in the morning. You only have a little bit of wiggle room to have some time with the wife. And you need to get the old boy going downstairs below the belt. You need to get him awake. You need to get him going fast. And Roe Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who need a secret weapon against softness. Rose Sparks can give guys bigger, thicker, longer erections because they get fuller. And after Rose Sparks dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average. And if prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at ro.co/bussin to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/bussin for $15 off your first order. What a great ad read for the dads out there listening right now, or even the moms that might be tuning in. They just want to put their hubby on game.
Dude, honestly, a little Brewha ad read, a little lovey-dovey ad read. Like I don't think there's anything more for the dads.
Yeah,
truly.
I'm with you. I know we got a little product recommendation.
Yeah,
we have survival kit action. What guys need in the survival kit? We got dad hacks.
We got survival kit. We do, just time wise, I don't know if we want to skip over those and tell the audience a little bit about the call-in feature, because I feel like that's gonna they have to come in next week to see how survival kit and dad hacks works.
Yes. So for the dads out there listening right now, for everybody watching this show, the way that we're going to involve you guys is we have a hotline number. It is 601 the dads. 601 the dads. You will call in. You will leave a voicemail, and it can be about something you crack a cold one to, maybe a big dad loss, maybe a time you got motherfucked by your daughter, by your son, by your wife, or maybe you were motherfucking yourself and you're feeling in the dumps and you need to get something off your chest. You can remain anonymous if you would like. You don't have to say your name. You can just call in. We would love to play a voicemail each and every week for the dads out there wanting to vent about something, having a recommendation. Maybe you have a dad hack. Maybe you have something that you can put in the survival kit for dads that dads might need to know.
Ooh.
That a lot out there might not know. And now you have a platform, you have an audience to where you can put dads on game, whatever it is. And again, it could be a quote, a lesson you've learned. It doesn't matter.
You can remain anonymous.
Yes, it doesn't matter. You are a dad. You're trying to be here for the dads. You're trying to be here for the community, in whatever way you want it to be, positive, negative, putting us on game, whatever that is your voicemail. That is your phone call. I do think it would be smart to do an email one too, to where people can write it up. And even with the call, it's not Zoom. You're not showing your face. You're not doing any of that. You're calling into the hotline, 601 the dads, and you're leaving a voicemail.
Will, what would you say if I told you, even though that number got connected 3 days ago, we have our first voicemail?
Oh, we have one.
Would you want to answer it?
Sure. Go ahead and play it.
All right. We'll play it live. I'll play it into the mic, and then we'll let you take it from there.
Okay.
All right.
Compton, this is Hunter, big time fan of the show. So stoked to see what you do with For the Dads. Just a question from me. If your best friend ever called you and asked you to play Santa Claus so his kid could keep the beauty and the magic of Christmas in their heart and keep their little childhood dreams alive, tell me, how would you handle that conversation, and what would be your best Santa impression? Once again, big fan, huge, massive fan. You're 10. Yeah. All right, bye.
I don't know if you caught that at the beginning. That was Hunter.
Oh, Hunter. That was Hunter.
That was Hunter.
Longtime fan of the show.
Yeah.
Close and dear friend of the show.
Yeah, and what he knew about year 10, so I'm guessing he's probably a tier 1.
It seems like he's very aware. So this man, Hunter, what was his question again? How would I handle being Santa Claus on the phone to his kids?
If Hunter was to call you because his kids are, I don't know if I believe in Santa anymore. Well, let me call up Santa right now. And you're the person that he called. How would you handle that?
Santa being real?
No. How would you handle role playing Santa? If you need, I don't mind being Hunter's kid, and we can run through it right now.
What's your name?
Billy.
Billy?
Yeah. Santa?
Ho ho ho! Hey Billy.
Dad, it is Santa.
I'm hearing you're having some questions about myself being real.
Oh,
well, ding it. Quiet down back there, Rudolph. I'm talking to Billy. Right now. Hey, my little elves, can you get Billy's gifts ready? I know Christmas is coming up. I just have a couple questions that I got to answer with them.
Daddy's talking to the elves. Oh my gosh, Santa. I was just wondering, my friends at school in the lunchroom, they're all picking on me. They're all telling me that you're not real and that I'm just a dumb kid for believing in you.
Why would they say such a thing, Billy? You're talking to old Santa Claus right now. I know you're excited for Christmas. What would you like for Christmas, Billy?
Oh, I would love an Xbox.
Here's what Billy, listen to me closely. Here's what I'll tell you. You're going to go back to that cafeteria. Yeah. You're going to go back to that lunchroom on your next day of school. And you're going to tell your friends you spoke to Santa Claus on the phone.
Yeah.
You asked for an Xbox. And if you get an Xbox on Christmas, you're going to tell them that that's their belief on what they're going to get for their toy. You're going to show them, you're going to prove to them that Santa is real because you are going to get what you want. And can you do another thing for me, Billy?
Anything, Santa.
Ask them what they would like for Christmas as well. And also mark down their address. Mark down their address and what their parents' name might be on where they could possibly receive this secret gift. But don't tell them that Santa Claus is telling you this. And then we will prove to them together that Santa Claus is real.
That's well done. That was a great dude. Proving it by also getting their parents involved, because their parents are going to be like, who the hell is this from? And it's going to come and you were going to send it and say it was from Santa.
So spoiler alert, Hunter is Taylor. And Taylor, a few years back when I did not have kids, he needed me to talk to Wynn because Wynn was having a bed issue. And they were trying to solve it by her talking to Santa and then keeping the life of Christmas alive and maybe helping her work on wetting the bed. And I wet the bed on the phone. I was in the middle of a Whole Foods and I was shot. You're doing all these different things at once, so you can't be intentional and focused on what he actually needed from me.
Yeah.
And so I handled it all wrong. I told her that if she didn't stop wetting the bed, she might not get any presents. He had to kind of rush her out there, and then he called me. He's like, "What was that, dude?" I don't know. I panicked. I thought you wanted her to stop wetting the bed. I'm trying to motivate her by, hey, you're gonna get Christmas presents if you don't stop wetting the bed.
He didn't tell me about the wetting the bed part. He just said you didn't do a Santa voice at all. You answered it as well and just went, yeah, hey, it's Santa. Yeah, hey, it's Santa.
I win. Yeah, this is Santa Claus.
Bro.
Thank you, Hunter, for calling in. But that is kind of the idea of what we want to do with the voicemails every week. So again, call into the hotline 601 the dads. We're going to wrap this up here soon. We got some little product recommendation for your survival kit. Myself, I'll keep it short. I'll keep it tight. I'll keep it right.
Yeah.
A go-to for myself is every evening we sit down at the dinner table and I have The Daily Dad sitting there by Ryan Holiday. Awesome guy to look into for the Daily Dad newsletter. He's got a book called The Daily Dad where it gives you 365 days of different lessons in the book that you'll learn, and it's based on through Stoicism. Big fan of Stoicism. But The Daily Dad I would recommend for your survival kit. And I would also recommend the book 12 Hours in 12 weeks or 12 hours by 12 weeks. I know I've tweeted about it before, but parents kind of like getting into the thick of like, hey, what's a book I can read? If you're a dad out there trying to figure out something you could do to support the wife, I strongly recommend 12 hours in 12 weeks. Okay. It's like a sleep training book that is not overly aggressive. It's the way the child can like adapt to your life versus you adapting to everything and catering everything around them. It's got a lot of practical ways for you to get them sleep trained by 12 weeks. I want to say Rue, it took her about 16, 17 weeks, and Scotty was like 12 weeks, maybe even 11. And it was all based around the teachings and everything inside of this book, 12 hours in 12 weeks. But those would be my survival kit recommendations for dads out there thinking about something they could do, like even for yourself, like trending toward having your first child, or maybe your first one didn't go well and you might be looking for something in your second one, or you may be in the thick of it now and you can dive in. Yeah. But those would be my survival kit product recommendations.
And first book title again?
The first book is just The Daily Dad.
Daily Dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next segment being a dad hack, I would say plan your solo time. You realize like you juggling this around in your mind, like, you know, life being kind of over, not over, but there's going to be a lot going on to where the life as you know it will no longer be. You won't have the freedom and the free time and everything that you kind of have. You even don't realize it when the baby comes home. Then you start realizing all these different things that mom might know and understand, and you're just trying to figure out where do you fit in the whole puzzle.
Yeah.
I would say planning your solo time, because you're going to be spread thin through work. You're going to be spread thin through being at home, being supportive, to where you kind of like lose time for yourself. So planning your solo time, whether it's a workout an hour a day, whether it's the time you want to pull out the lifeline of taking a deuce at the right time or reading a book, whatever your solo time looks like, you need to make sure to start planning for it, because a lot of things change when you do have kids. And if you're out there trying to think of ways that you might be missing how to feed yourself, is plan out, schedule out your solo time.
I love that. Very quickly, I'll segue into one. I need to get that Daily Dad. I'm going to give myself a homework assignment.
Okay.
Of getting Daily Dad, starting to read into that. Because our next segment is What Are the Odds? Shout out FanDuel. With What Are the Odds, we'll just be talking about anything that's crazy coincidence that happened with the kids. Maybe they puked and they missed every single thing except for that one really nice thing in your living room. That's the segment. But What Are the Odds is Scarlett is potentially going to be a freedom baby, pending that Jill is going to get induced on July 3rd.
Explain that. What's a freedom baby?
A freedom baby is a baby that would be born on July 4th, the 4th of July, Independence Day.
Got you.
So Scarlett,
Hey,
come on.
Takes me a minute.
Hey, that's all right. But Scarlett potentially being a freedom baby, Jill called me today. They said, baby Scarlett is looking healthy. She had a stress test and a screening today. They said, we want to induce you at 38 weeks. And that will be the week of July 1st. And we want to aim for July 3rd. So she will be born on the 4th of July.
Ooh!
Our little firecracker, dude.
I'm hyped for you, man.
We're gassed.
World's going to change.
Oh,
but I'm hyped for you, bro.
Yeah, my life is over as I know it.
As you know it right now, as somebody who gets to kind of operate selfishly with your wife.
Yeah.
Life's over.
Life's over.
That life's behind you.
Thus this podcast.
Yeah. That's why you have a safe space now.
Yes.
Sweetheart, we love you. Chili Bean, we love you.
Hey, I'm glad that you said that at the beginning, because that took the pressure off. I was like, I do need to act like, no one's listening.
Yeah.
We're just talking.
We're just talking. This is a
conversation.
This is for the dads. Only dads are listening. Only dads are listening.
There's few things you can be charged with if you're just talking about it.
Yeah. We're just talking about it. We're standing around the garage. We're having a couple events.
Okay, so to wrap it up.
Yes, to wrap it up, quote, lesson, or mantra in a phrase, because you're going to be a girl dad as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
this is more tailored towards the girl dads out there. And one that you hear a phrase that you love and you don't quite understand it. And it's not like a moment that happens, but it's like moments in fatherhood that you begin to realize how important this is. But my lesson that's going to stem from this quote,
Will's lesson of the week.
Is that, and I have a little write-up about this.
Okay.
Is that you are your daughter's first love. And it's not something where you're trying to be romantic. It's about being the first role model of what love looks like. You're the first man to hold her. You're the first one to make her laugh on a hard day. You're the first one to show her that love doesn't have to be hurt or earn or beg to be kept. And that's a huge responsibility. It's a lot of pressure, but it's also a gift, because how you treat her mom, and how you show up when it's inconvenient or hard, she's watching, not just now, but forever. She's learning, what does it mean to be protected? What does it look like when someone listens to me? And am I worth someone's time even when they're tired? Because you are laying down the emotional hardwiring that she will lean on for years. And that's not to pressure the girl that's out there, but to empower you. Because when you kiss her on the forehead, or you let her put bows in your hair, or you say, I love you for no reason, you're teaching her this is how love should feel.
Did you write that?
Yeah, I put the pen to paper a little bit. I had a little bit of help.
Damn, dude.
Couple articles on it. I'm in the middle of reading the book, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters. And there's a part in the book where the author, she talks about this. And so, and it's I think it's great.
One, that gets me fucking juiced, because I have a little girl myself coming.
Yeah.
And two, maybe we didn't touch on it enough at the top. I want everybody to know I'm scared shitless to have a daughter.
Yeah, buddy.
But yes, I have the most incredible wife in the world. She was raised by a single mother. And Jill's the most incredible woman in the world. My mother-in-law is incredible. Did it all herself. But I see the relationship that Jill already has with my dad, her father-in-law, and how special that relationship is to her. And it's a really tall order. It's a really tall order, and I'm really lucky. And dude, I'm fucking stoked to be here, to have met you and Taylor, and to really learn from you guys and have this like opportunity to prep myself, because I feel so much more like mentally ready. But that message was incredible, dude. I'm fighting back tears pretty hard, but
it's all good. Your boy was fighting him back there at the end.
Yeah. But I'm so juiced by that. I almost want to write it down and have it printed off, and that can live on the set. I can't believe you wrote that, dude. That was like run through a brick wall stuff.
Yeah, it's you know the history a little bit anyway that I had with my mom.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing on the other side. Is like you're the same being a boy for a mom. So it hits at a deep level. But hey, this was an awesome episode. This was an awesome first episode. I got to get out of this. Right now. One thing that we are going to do is I would love for the end credit scene to be gender reveals, whether it be positive dad moments. We're going to show a little something here for the credits with our own videos. But what we would like to see is fans, whether you guys are DMing us or showing us or tagging us in videos that we can use on your behalf to put in the end credits. We'd love to roll kind of a highlight reel of gender reveals and positive dad moments, and just embrace the badass dads who are out there.
Send them in.
But thank you for tuning into this first episode. I know we'd love to sit around the 40-minute mark. I want to say we're getting close to what, G? Maybe an hour?
Yeah.
Maybe an hour. So we'll watch the tape. We'll watch the tape and reel it in. But leave comments, subscribe, support the boys again. We will be setting up a new channel soon, so be on the lookout for that. But thank you for showing up.
What are you wearing?
Oh, dad
what
merch.
Is that?
We got hats, bwtb.com. We got sick dad merch. I know a lot of our logos and themes, which was done by people none other than myself, but it's based around wolves. And I remember asking the question, do you realize how much I love that this is themed around wolves? Because I am obsessed with wolves, being the protector, the pack mentality and everything else. But we have some sick merch. It's on the site, bwtb.com. There's a bunch of shirts, hats, everything that you're not seeing here on the set right now. But go check that out,
Garrett,
bwtb.com.
Your artist friend's name?
Brandon Owen, finally Bowen.
Brandon Owen, finally Bowen, painted
this back here.
Wonderful sign back there. And Brandon, we love it so much, dude. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to Brandon.
Yes. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. This was For the Dads.
You need to come back.
No.
Yes.
No.
We need you. You turned Arendelle into ice.
Oh, I cannot.
We need you. Elsa.
Do you remember that time when you were trying to push a fart out, and instead of a fart, you pushed out a whole poop? Do you remember that?
Let it rip.
Give me that! Ah! Hey! Hey! Nice!
Oh, yeah.